it's important for us to communicate with the affiliates and to train the affiliates on the best ways to go about selling USCF memberships and helping people arrive at the options. And we've never done that before. And that's something that we really need to do. And one of the ideas that we have for video training on our website is this topic of how to help a potential member select which membership is right for them. And it's actually probably a doctoral thesis, as complicated as our due structure. Please.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that in a long multi-day tournament, you have a chance to capture everyone who's not a member. But on a very quick game 30, one day, you sometimes get too busy and you use that tournament membership to click on it and purchase it. You might have not even gotten their addresses or anything. That's why I kind of like the tournament membership on those cases where you have a one-day tournament with a lot of people and very few TDs, and you just you're not able to capture the addresses.
I have exactly the same problem, even though I run mostly longer tournaments, and I end up paying for a fair number of those tournament memberships sometime. And with the 3-month membership, what's going to happen is I'll be paying a little bit more for a bunch of 3-month memberships. Then most of them are not new. I mean, if they're new, you have to really make sure to get the address. But you know, the ones that are already members or past members, the USCF has the address, and you know, I'll probably be. I mean, they'll just be getting a gift of 3 months of Chess Life and 3 months of eligibility, but they will become members.
Except that sometimes the TV affiliate form stops me, says, we don't have a valid address, you can't proceed.
I think if you just put N/A or see existing address.
It won't work.
Wicksburg, USA.
You know, I'm just telling you, sometimes if I don't have the address, it stops me, but it never does on the tournament one. That's the only problem.
Well, I've had some without the address, and I don't know why, but I never got stopped. Well, no, I just...
That's what he's talking about, 3 months, right?
I'm afraid that the 3 months would work like a renewal, where when I renew some of like the UTD players who have moved, the TV affiliate flags it as, hey, we don't have a valid address, give us a valid address where you can't proceed.
Yeah, when you go through the membership module, it checks for whether or not we have an address, and if we don't, it kind of insists you give one. The tournament member module doesn't do that check.
Right.
Yeah, all right, come to think of it, I think what I had in mind was I've submitted on occasion, you know, like a $13 membership, something like that, and I didn't have an address, so I would just put my address. I think that's probably what I did. And then sometimes I got the address later and made a change.
Okay, that'll work.
I'd like to recommend that we reconsider that the 3-month membership does not have voting privileges.
Tad late for that.
No, I don't think it's tad late for that.
It's not a delegate's, it's not this body's decision, it's the delegate's decision.
No, Savon's correct, because it wasn't implemented.
That's
Part
right.
of the bylaws,
This
the
is not-
delegates have not implemented this,
Yeah,
this membership.
We should not allow this type of membership to vote. Could you imagine the nightmares that can be caused by this?
I remain unconvinced that this type of membership is a good idea, period.
No, I can agree, but I want statistics behind it. That's why I want both of them to run for a year. But I would take away voting privileges, not unless you want another nightmare next year or in 2013.
I second the motion.
To quote from Article 4, Section 2, any USCF member is entitled, is the first 4 words of that sentence. Unless you're going to define a 3-month membership as not being a USCF member, you're sort of stuck here. The good news is we don't have an election in 2012, so you can fix this issue next summer.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I really don't want to define these people as not being members. I think it's very important that they be members. don't have any objection to saying they can't vote, but as Mike points out, the bylaws may not allow that.
You don't see any possible abuse?
I think
Not
there
in
is-
2012.
As long as two board members don't resign, two or more board members, we're good.
There is the possibility of abuse. There's already an existing possibility of abuse with some of our membership classes, especially family. There's a tremendous possibility of abuse with family, and yet it's apparently never happened.
I suspect
Sam?
Yeah, has there been a change or update in the website? As far as I've always known, whenever for example, when I want to renew my membership, I have to re-enter my address. I would much rather have it say just click and no change in the address. And if I'm renewing for a family member, I've got about 8 family members who are members I renew for them. I just prefer to say no change in the address. And who knows, people move all the time, and you don't really want to have to ask them what their new address is all the time if you're renewing for them. Has that been fixed? Because it sounds to me, according to what you're saying, it has been changed because what's going on there?
Mike Nolan, please.
Sorry, Mike.
Sam, when you go to the membership web store, you must enter a name and address. However, when TDs are collecting that information and entering it through a different module through the TD affiliate area, if we have an address and it is not flagged as invalid, they can override having to put the address in. We do not want to put that capability on the general web store because we will start getting lots of problems.
Can you tell what the problem is? Because it seems to me a lot of people said that it would be better if we didn't have to re-enter the address.
Yeah, I know, and I agree with them. It would be easier if they did. However,
we'll consider.
I have this on recommendation from people that run about a billion memberships a year, the Direct Mail Association. They say do not make addresses optional.
We'll consider that if you make a substantial donation to the USCF Legal Defense Fund.
All right, any further topics for discussion? Are there any questions from members of the audience for the board?
I got one for you. I'd like the board to reconsider Madison, Wisconsin for a U.S. Open. I know you voted it down. I think it's short-sighted. I believe you should be looking at Madison for 2013. We do not have a signed contract yet. I do know Pat still has all of her contacts with Madison. I think you are underestimating the drawing power of Madison from the Chicagoland area and from the Minneapolis area, because now you've made it into driving distance where people can also stay at the hotel and increase the hotel pickup rates. It is not difficult to get to Madison. There's a huge Milwaukee crowd as well. I know, Mike, it's very near and dear to your heart because you were pounding for this, but I think we need to consider Madison seriously. Because right now, nothing else good has really come Pat's way, even with Atlanta that she's looking at. So I really urge the board, give Madison true consideration. It's a great place to be this time of year as well. It's not some sweltering box that we're in right now.
I would hold off on calling this a sweltering box. I think this is a pretty nice location.
I'm not talking about the hotel. I'm talking about Orlando in this season.
They could be in Dallas right now.
Yeah, well, okay, that's a different story.
Yeah, the board doesn't award the U.S. Open. We leave that to the executive director. The executive director asks for the board's advice. The board recommended against Madison. If we're going to get involved again in, issuing opinions about U.S. Opens, which I think is fine, I think it should be pointed out that between 2003, assuming it's really Atlanta for 2013 and St. Louis for 2014, that would mean between 2003 and 2014, which is a 12-year period, the U.S. Open will have been in the Northeast once. So, I mean, if you're talking about areas that haven't had their share of U.S. Opens, I mean, Madison is not exactly, you know, the Midwest is not exactly it, although I agree the Midwest is a good location for the U.S. Open, and, you know, we did get quite a respectable draw in Indianapolis, you know, and an even better draw in '06 in the Chicago area.
Okay, thank you, Smal.
I'm going to go to the
Bob?
microphone. Where I'm going, I can't use the microphone.
Yes, I'm interested in the Boy Scout Merit Badge, and I see that there's a pamphlet for that. And what I'd like to be able to do is to go back to the 2 state chapters whose boards I'm on and show that to them. Because I know that there was an encouragement that the state chapters get involved in trying to find volunteers to help with that program. So is it possible to get copies of that either now or possibly in the mail later?
The merit badge book, generally as a Scoutmaster presently, Boy Scout merit badge books are available at the local Scout shop, and you can look them up in the phone book and give them a call. Generally, merit badge books cost $4.95 since they went to the color version. Used to they were $3 when they were $3.75 when they were black and white. But you can buy as many as you want for $4.95 as soon as they hit the shop, which I'm not sure exactly when they're hitting the shop.
20th of August is what they said.
August 20th, okay, is what we heard. Yeah, I thought it was sometime later this summer, and I wasn't sure the date. Okay. Any other business for the Executive Board of the U.S. Chess Federation at this time? Entertaining a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion made to adjourn. All those in favor